watch, but we all know it is probably not. Little chat with another slice of life. Biggles keeps talking about another villainess. And in trouble with the side of the iru de watashi tachi wa sorera wasurete buseki shimasu. It's the Biggles breakdown, another anime night, fighting all the shows and the plots. It's time for the Biggles breakdown.
Hey everyone!
What are we doing with ourselves?
Hey everyone, we are live.
What the hell are we doing?
This is the Biggles breakdown. This is a sad day for us. Crimson has betrayed us. He has betrayed Retro and his 100 girlfriends.
Apparently, Biggles is disowning me over the placement of an anime again
for the second time.
Remember, this happened last season over Alicia.
Yes, Alicia will go down in history. Mark my words, and as the greatest villainess, because so far she is the best villainess out of all the villainess that we have seen. But I have proof. Biggles has come prepared with Crimson's treason, if we will. So we have Crimson here. Let's go full screen. We don't want Crimson to have any saying of be like, listen, the chat was telling me this. We got rid of the chat, okay? Now we just know. Crimson. These are your words, right? As you can see, he has Rentaro right here and his 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love Rentaro, okay? As very good. Now, if you guys remember, him and little Chad were bullying me, saying, no, you got to watch this right now. It is peak. It is a must watch. It is the best romance anime ever, right? Saying how great this is. And he has it right here and very good. Now let's listen to Crimson in his own words.
Really, 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 really love you.
That's it.
So this was the baseball episode.
Best episode.
And I like that they did the whole Dragon Ball parody where everyone's going Super Saiyan and they were playing Chala, Head Chala in the background. It was great, honestly. Genuinely a funny episode. They parodied like the very like shonen-esque style of like Dragon Ball calling out attack names with the pitches and stuff. That was funny. They actually did the characters well. And then, of course, the whole, like, Shizuka thing where the other team decided they were going to bully Shizuka and it riled everyone up. Pandora's box. Great episode all around. Honestly, like, this series is just so dumb you can't help but laugh at it. Like, it's all around one of the most stupid things. And yes, I agree. It is one of the very first times I've actually enjoyed a baseball episode of an anime.
All right, and that's basically everything he says. He starts talking about going next. Now, if you can tell, he was saying how great it is. You see how this says very good? It doesn't say very great. Crimson, this is blasphemy against anime. So what are your defenses?
Here's the breakdown of how I score anime. The must-watch things are the things I think like everyone should be giving a try. Must watch are like I don't care who you are, at least watch one episode of it to see if it's worth your time. I would say that to everyone. The very good category is a little bit more niche than that. Those are the ones that I think have really high potential, but won't appeal innately to everyone. And that's kind of where the 100 Girlfriends sits, where I think it's a very well-written series for, being a parody, being a romance, having great characters and all that. However, there are some things about it, the fact that it leans very heavily on tropes, the fact that it does fail to really hyper-focus on characters sometimes, and the fact that a lot of people are like huge fans of harem romance, that I think will make it a little bit of an issue for some people to watch.
How dare you, sir? You say it's niche, yet you told me it was a must-watch. And you know what? We're doing this live. Ready? We're doing this live. 10. Masterpiece. There we go.
That's fine. Honestly, that's a fine score for the series. It's good. Like genuinely, but just because I think something is a 10 out of 10, doesn't mean I think everyone's inherently going to like it.
They better, or you just bully them like you did me till they like it. That's what you did to me. Now, we got to talk about this episode. It's baseball. I love baseball.
See, for you,
And
you're on the baseball episode. I'm on the episode after that, and honestly, like, Shizuka being one of my favorite characters in this. The fact that they gave her a whole song to sing.
uh-oh. Oh, yeah.
So-
It said that in the preview. That, how will Shizuka handle karaoke? Like, that's going to be awesome. But
It
you
is-
said, go ahead.
I was about to say, it is honestly like a fantastic episode, the way they split it between the karaoke thing and the new girlfriend. So,
Dun, dun, dun. Now, you did say in your video when they went Super Saiyan, I have to tell you, you are incorrect, Crimson. There was electricity going around them. They skipped Super Saiyan and just went straight to Super Saiyan 2, okay? And having the god who messed him up that gave him 100 girlfriends because he was scoring some TV show he was watching when he was getting to Rentero's paperwork, being Master Roshi was kind of hilarious. He's like, no, it told me you were actually Master Roshi. And then you also brought up Pandora's box, where they made Shizuka cry. And all the girls are like, we're going to fucking beat the shit out of them now. What was do you remember the wording that Karane said? Or they said a little, what did the catcher say to Karane before she's like, meteor or murder meteor? I totally thought she was going to do like something like Bakugo, like when she started going that way. It's like, oh shit, is it switching to My Hero? Is she going full Bakugo on him and going to blast him?
but the joke about Shizuka being the character to trigger everyone's protective instincts is just like it continues throughout the series. So like seeing it repeat over and over and over again. This normally when I get to a show that's like a gimmick or whatever, like this would potentially be, I get really frustrated when they don't innovate with it. Like they have one thing that they do over and over and over again on repeat. This one somehow manages to make the jokes feel new every time they use it. So like Shizuka being the person that everyone has to protect, that everyone thinks is too adorable to do anything to. The way they used it twice in this episode, and it was still funny because it was a little bit original both times. Like the one where the chick thought of her dead puppy or whatever.
Yeah. Where she's like, oh, it's okay, Chi-Chi. And then she threw her out of the game. Did you notice that the dog's name was Chi-Chi because they were doing the whole Dragon Ball thing?
I didn't catch that actually.
My dog, my Chi-Chi or Chi-Chi-chan, right? So he was going with Chi-Chi. But I love Shizuka, and she was just crying. And as me being like the overprotective person that I am, I jumped out of my bed watching this, and I was ready to fuck up those Dino girls. I was like, "How dare you talk about Shizuka like that? And make her cry?" You know,
how dare you?
I went full retro. I probably would have went Super Saiyan 3 right off the rip. You know, who cares about 1 and 2? Just go straight for it. You know, go for the killing blow. And then they're like, oh yeah, like I thought something else happened, and when I was like, oh shit, she almost killed someone with a home run, you know, I was like, first off, I was like, why the fuck was that person not paying attention when you're like in home run area, you know? And the other thing was, I was like, shit. And then she hits it so hard that her like a uniform rips.
I was gonna mention like the thing with all the clothes disintegrating.
Well, that happens in Dragon Ball too. So it's like he's trying to catch the ball, and then it's just like, and he's in his boxers, and he's like, "You're in your underwear, like you don't." And then she goes and kisses him, right? Like, thank you, I can hit again. So this episode was great. When Hahari like falls down, they're like, they're all talking about her boobs, and instead they're like, "Oh no, she didn't touch it," and the umpire sees that her boobs are on the base, and they're like, "Safe," and they're like, "That's what happens when our largest size is up for something like that." And I was just like laughing so hard.
Like I said, this in my stream, this series is just so dumb you can't help but laugh at it. Like the fact that it just straight up decided it was going to be as unhinged as possible and just do all this ridiculous stuff. In the manga, there's actually jokes about how the editor or how the author didn't think they were going to actually make her create 100 different girlfriends.
Mhm.
But now she's in it for the long haul.
She's at 32, isn't she?
I think so. I'm not all the way caught up on the manga. I've been reading it by volumes, and I actually kind of want to start adding this one to my physical collection because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's another item on the list that I would then have to start checking off and spending money on. And as you can see, there is tons of manga back here. And in fact, I also found that there are a bunch of deluxe editions of like Vinland Saga and Vagabond that I've not ever known about. So I gotta get that.
Uh-oh. I also have a bunch of manga, but they're all packed up right now for the move. So all I have left are Union Arena trading cards for Demon Slayer, and Black Clover comes out in March, so I'll get Black Clover in March. But,
I thought you had already moved.
No, I've packed everything for the move, and like I'm not moving until this house is sold. So I'm literally living in here by myself for a little bit with like nothing in here except like my green screen, my computer, and my PlayStation.
There's no carpet, no drywall. You're just in a stud framed room with
basically
with plywood on the floor and
well, some of the rooms are being worked on. Like it's pretty crazy. There's like nothing here. But yeah, we like 100 girlfriends here, and if little Chad was here, he'd probably never stop talking about it. You know, he unfortunately is in Florida with his family or something.
Next, you need to check out 100 girlfriends, not 100 girlfriends. Too many losing heroines.
Too many losing hero. Okay, so I almost started that last night, but I ended up going with Classroom of Heroes. Have you watched that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, in the first episode, it's I guess the legendary hero kills like the demon king or whatever, demon lord, and then he's resurrected as this kid. And this kid, or have you seen Eden Zero?
No.
Okay, so well, the main character Shiki in the first season, it's dubbed. It's played by Subaru, and all he wants to do is make friends. And Blade is the same way. He's like, I don't want to be the hero anymore. I just want to make friends. But he still has all the powers of the heroes after he was like reincarnated or whatever. And there's this girl who has like no friends, and it's she. I wouldn't say she's actually like a tsundere. She's like mean in the beginning, but only because she like doesn't think he's taking it serious. He's making too much noise, you know. And then she actually fights him. And then I watched the second episode, and she's basically cursed by her sword. So far it's kind of interesting. It's over the top. I don't know how it will go. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. The first episode and second episode seem interesting, so I'll probably finish it while I'm waiting for it to be Thursday when there's episodes of anime that I want. But you know what I really like? Apothecary Diaries. How do you feel about Apothecary Diaries?
I like that they're doing a little bit more of like the mystery of the week stuff now. Yeah, that they've gotten through like some of like the longer arcs that have happened here in the beginning of the season. This latest episode, I thought it was funny that the Emperor basically just took it upon himself to tease Mao Mao and Jinchi.
Yeah, he knows. He's a very smart emperor, and they tried to do the thing. So their red what was the lady's name? The the lady who went to like take over by like the moon goddess or what?
Oh, the Mother Royal.
Yeah, Mother Royal. Okay, so the Mother Royal, her family line is red green colorblind, and Mao Mao figured it out after getting a hint about her father being able he would figure it out. So the Emperor goes through, and it says, "Don't take this door, take this door," right, and it leads to a certain area. Well, the Emperor failed multiple times. Now, when I was first, did you figure it out the first time when you were kind of looking at it and trying to figure stuff out?
No. I basically just assumed it had something to do with the do not enter the it said do not enter the red door. I'm like, okay, well that would be like the first one I would go to.
So I figured it out by the do not enter the red door part before they went through the second time. Or no, wait, that I think I figured it out when it said enter the brown door. And I was like, okay, when I've been looking at these, I was like, okay, these would be like red blue or red green, or because I didn't see any like yellows. And I like to play some video games on like a certain colorblind because I can see slightly better with that colorblind on than I can normally. So I was looking at it and I kind of figured out like what was going on. And I thought that was super cool because as soon as she said, "Do they have bad eyesight?" I was like, "Oh, okay, yep, colorblind." And then the Emperor was like, or no, they said she can't go too many times. She can't go by herself. And he's like, "Well, what if he goes with her?" Right? And like teasing him, like, so it's great. I love the Emperor. The Emperor is one of the best characters. You barely get to see him.
See, that's one of the things is as far as like him as a leader is really is done really well because and on one hand you have him being like having this imposing aura to him, but at the same time he's not so like full of himself and looking down on everyone that he won't see like the utility of someone like Mao Mao or whatever, or understand how to handle a situation and not be an asshole.
Mm-hmm. And then it was last week's episode that had the medicine, or was that 2 weeks ago? That I think that was this week's dub. Was the medicine one? Was that 2 weeks ago?
Where they were handling the sick chick in the shack.
Yeah. Or was that last week?
I think that was last week.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
With the slap where Li Hua goes to just beat the shit out of her cousin.
Oh, yeah, that hasn't happened in the dub yet. So it was 2 weeks ago, the one with the medicine, where they say, don't let anybody find out you make medicine. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure the Emperor knows that she makes medicine. He hasn't had her killed yet. So it goes to show more of his thing.
No, I'm pretty sure he knows specifically because Jinchi knows.
Yeah. And he knows everything his I'm pretty sure it's his little brother knows. Especially because did they show him as a kid? Jinchi as a kid in this one?
In this latest episode, yeah, they even said in the show, Jinchi's talking about his past and how he learned that the person he thought was his father was actually his brother.
Yeah. Okay, so that confirmed it. He thought, and it showed the Emperor. Okay. Yeah, so I couldn't remember if that actually happened or that was my imagination. Because sometimes when I watch anime, I don't remember what happens, and I think that was what happened, and then it's like, oh no, that was actually from the parody. Biggles, what are you talking about?
What are you, brain damaged? Don't answer.
Yes. Well, yes. How did you know?
Are you autistic? Why, yes. How did you know?
How did you know? You know who I don't think is autistic? Jinwoo. I don't think he is. Unlike me, he's not retarded. So
No,
this
he actually has a
episode,
strategy for everything.
I know this episode, he adds a new member to his harem, which I don't think he started to grow yet. He just has shadows, which and he doesn't kill her and regenerate her. So this one was pretty cool. You know, that demon girl, she's like, I surrender. And then obviously she's going to try to kill him, right? And he's like, what was that? Like, I'll spare your life just because I need you to do this, right?
She gets caught and immediately starts begging for her life again. Yes.
I know.
I do want to say though, I think solo leveling is at its best when it's doing those like large scale battles, the Jinwu using his shadows. Season 1 had good fights. Season 2 I think has had better fights because they've just been so much more interesting watching a bunch of characters fight rather than just Jinwu. And then of course we got to mention all the that fucking impact frames at the end of the episode where they like completely changed animation style.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. At the very end where they were fighting Baru, and it was a lot. Holy shit, that was good. I really enjoyed the last fight. And then he hasn't resurrected him, right? That didn't happen in this one. It ended with him
No, I
cutting
think
off his
that's
head, right?
going to be what's going to start the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then the raid's about to start.
yeah, we're about to get the Jeju Island raid.
Yeah,
and
Japan's bringing 10 of their 11 S ranks.
Yep.
And who knows how many Korea's bringing right now.
Shit's gonna get fucky.
But yeah, dude, this episode was awesome. I like how when he went to the demon castle or whatever, they're like, he's like, I promise I won't kill her. I just like I need her to tell me where to go, and then we'll keep her alive. I promise. And then he's like, you have to go home because I can't guarantee your safety anymore. And she's like, I'm going to see this out. And she was like, holy shit, when all that shit goes down and like she's about to die and he just goes in there and fucking puts her under the coat and like saves her. Like, I got you, little baby bird. Don't worry, you're under my wing. You know.
Everyone's saying Jinwoo's biggest mistake is not taking her back to the human realm with him. Meanwhile, she's misunderstanding because I like you.
Because I like you. I want you to stay alive. Like, and she's like, you like me? She's like one of Rentero's girlfriends. Please, Jinwoo.
Instantly.
Jinwoo's going to be like, I also have 100 girls who really, 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 really love me, and I just love one woman. Jahi. So fucking this level this level of the floor was awesome.
Yeah, the conclusion to the demon castle here was really freaking good. But the whole point of the whole part of this that I've been looking forward to is still yet to come with Jeju Island. I do like that they've been doing a little bit of like the foreshadowing and stuff and talking about like some of the things that lead up to the Jeju Island raid. And now, of course, we've been, like you said, introduced to Goto, who is like the leader of one of Japan's biggest guilds. I shouldn't say anything because I've read the manhwa for it, but like I said, Jeju Island is a shitstorm of an arc.
All right, I look forward to it. This show is awesome. I can't say like I thought season 1 was good. I think season 2 is great.
I hear that a lot. A lot of people who weren't huge fans of season 1 have really enjoyed season 2.
Well,
I think
season 2 is so much better.
I think it's done a better job of actually like telling a story. My issue with the manhwa was basically I was reading it in such like such spread out intervals that like by the time I would get the next volume or the next volume would come out, I had kind of forgotten what the actual like story was. Seeing it all condensed down gives you a better impression of the story rather than reading it the way I have.
All right. Yeah, I really like it. Another one I really like that I know you don't feel the same way about is Salaryman from Headhunter to another world, from Salaryman to Big Four. Now, I really like this one. However, now that this 2-part episode has finished about like the guild things, I'm going to be waiting and I'm going to be watching the dub because I want to watch the dub for this one so I can catch all the stuff I missed. Because this show hides some stuff in the background if you picked up on some of that. Now, it is only a 6.42. I rated it a 7. Okumura is a genius. If you actually think about it, dude, so have you watched the last episode?
I
Have
haven't
you
watched
kept up?
this since like episode 2.
Oh, well, okay. So
Sorry to disappoint you. It's
No.
on my watch later list. I'll binge
Okay.
it when there's a dub out.
yeah, the dub is on episode. I think this was just the 8th episode, maybe. I think the dub is on 6 now or something, or 5. But the way he dismantles the guildmaster, chef's kiss. Like, so good, dude. And then I was hoping at the end of the episode it would be Alder. How do you say her name? Almadrea.
Ulamandra.
I was hoping it was going to be Ulamandra coming in to kick ass, but it was Belinda, who also has a different name that I cannot pronounce, so I'll just call her Belinda because that's what she likes to be called when she's not wearing her outfit. So that's what I will call her because that's easier for me to say. I thought it was going to be her kicking ass, but it ended up being the other one because she was with them at one point. And it's just, I really like the problem solvings and the economics in it. And for me, who took like 15 economic classes in college because I was just taking all the classes that was available for that, mainly because it allowed me to stay in college and get drunk more, as an alcoholic, that was my goal in life, is to just keep drinking. But yeah, I really like this one. I'm going to stop and wait till the dub catches up, and then I'm just going to go and watch the dub for the rest of the season. So this will probably be the last time we talk about it until it is completely done dubbed. And mainly the main reason is I like dubs over subs because I suck at reading and I miss a lot of the cool stuff that happens in the background. And when I rewatch with the dubs, we're going to do that. Mm-hmm. And another one, I'm going to stop and wait for the dub because the dub is pretty far along, is A Ranked Party.
Oh.
Now, I might watch next week's episode and then wait for the dub. But the shit I've been saying was going to happen, the shit you said was going to happen, the shit little Chad thought was going to happen, Jamie kind of saves the day,
Yeah, so this episode was a lot of things for me. Probably one of the best of the series so far. And it made me move it up to the very good category. I'm glad they didn't drag out the whole revenge thing.
Mm-hmm.
That part I was satisfied with. There's also some interesting implications. Like if you were paying attention to what they were talking about when they found themselves in the plains.
When they were in the world of death?
Yeah. So basically he starts or Yuke basically says that one, he gives us a really interesting piece of lore about how the dungeons effectively are gateways to other worlds and they imitate those worlds that they're linked to.
Mm-hmm. And then it showed Japan, I think, in one of the things on like the left hand side.
It showed a lot of things, but there's also the fact that these gods exist, and that's like a really interesting bit of lore there.
Mm-hmm.
Like particularly them running into Persephone.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. So I'm wondering how that's all going to pan out. As for the revenge plot, I don't think we've seen much of what exactly has happened. I don't think there was much that happened after they teleported out of the dungeon with the return scroll.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I think he just turned himself into a demon, and then we're going to have to deal with Simon. But I did see I saw a video titled "The Anime World Wants This Man Dead," and you know whose face it was?
Simon.
Simon.
Yeah. So there's that. There's also the fucking sleaze bag who's after the girls, who hasn't faced retribution yet for all of this shit, for providing slave collars and all that.
I hope they kill that fat guy. But that party, like Thunder Pike, is just a bunch of like grapists, you know?
They're awful people except for Jamie. And that actually made me go look up some spoilers that episode.
Uh-oh.
Yes. I had to know. I had to know what happens.
You had to know if Jamie died or not. And that's probably why I'm watching next week's episode. I hope Jamie escapes, but
I will keep my mouth closed.
The way you said something in our messages, I'm pretty sure she dies. But it's okay.
It is by far the darkest episode of this series. And it was still really well done. And I like that like complete like switch up. The way like it's been like a fairly standard adventure series so far. Where like, okay, I like some of the characters and stuff, and I like it when Yuke is basically telling Simon off for being a fucking asshole the whole time. This episode capitalized on a lot of that sentiment. It did the dark stuff to help like make it feel different. It was something new for the series, something I hadn't expected would happen. I thought the revenge part was going to be really cheesy, but the way they did it, it was short, to the point, really well executed.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember the complete tone change in episode 7 of Don to Don? That's what this reminds me of. You have this like pretty happy anime, and then it's like, yeah, Graper. You know, I'm like, holy shit! Like, what the fuck? So,
well, I mean, it was worse than that. If we're talking about Acro Silky, yeah, I mean, we don't need to discuss what happens when the Yakuza takes a little girl with them.
Yeah, well, I was just saying like the complete tone change, you know, where it's like,
yeah, it goes from really happy to a fucking gut punch.
Yeah. But you know what stays happy even though there's no gut punches? I clicked the wrong button. There we go. I got it.
I was about to say, hold on. Why would not having a gut punch mean it doesn't stay happy? What?
I fucked up. Yeah.
You really just wanted an excuse to play that clip.
So we just made that clip off of what is this, Saturday? This is Saturday. No, these are Friday episodes. From Friday's episode, and I fucking love this anime. This might be my my third favorite anime of this season.
So this episode wasn't as good as The Rings. I still think The Rings is its best episode by far. But it's got an interesting part to it because, well, the little sister is
a crazy person.
She's crazy, yes. I also think that she's intentionally trying to like screw with their relationship because of some sister complex she has. I don't think she's being as nice because she's actually interested in Saito. I think she's more interested in proving that the guy isn't worth her older sister.
I think so too. Now I have a question. Who has the bigger sister complex? Saito or the crazy pink-haired girl?
That's a good question.
You're right.
That's a really good question.
All right. I mean,
Saito or Maho? Honestly, I think I would give it to Saito, given how he reacted to Shisei hamming it up.
100 points.
Also, let's just laugh at Shisei hiding in the fridge. Like, there's so much about this series to love. It's just genuinely fantastic. I mean, tsundere, the whole ring episode, good characterizations. I like the animation. My big complaint about it, though, is effectively some episodes feel really, really fast paced and
Mhm.
like they should slow down. Not this one, though, ironically, even though it was its fastest paced episode by far.
There was
Because,
a lot.
well, Maho being a whirlwind kind of ties that up. And I keep putting my hand in front of my camera.
Ah! You're just like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. All right. So, yeah, I love how it goes to Chibi's all the time. There was no, what was the blonde's name? She was mentioned, Hamari. She was mentioned in the episode, but she wasn't, I don't remember seeing her at all. Not even as like a background character, because
Mhm.
sometimes you see like the same background character walk around in this when they're at school. But that didn't happen in this episode. And Maho is crazy.
Also, let's blame Akane for the misunderstanding over the sister's death, because she really did try hard to make it seem like the sister was dead.
I know. I thought the sister was dead too. And he was like, your sister, I thought she was dead. And she's like, no, I just
Well,
can't
I
see
thought
her
so
anymore.
too until the end of last episode when she shows up in one of the final scenes.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, who was that? And you're like, that was the sister. And I was like, oh, what's up, Marcel? Marcel is here now. Hello.
Hey, Marcel, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. We've been like yelling at each other for funsies.
Berating each other over our anime takes.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to have to sue Biggles for defamation now. Defamation.
That's okay. I don't have any definition, so I'll win. But we need to show this again.
You really just look for excuses to use that, don't you?
I love it. As definition, you should. Wait, I can't even.
As you definitely should.
There you go. There you go. I can't read.
One of us actually went to college to learn to read.
Yeah, the other one went to college to get hammered. There's the difference.
English major. Yeah.
What a nerd. I took a creative
I stopped after my
class.
associate's degree, so that's pretty much it.
That's okay. I have like 3 or 4 of those.
Oh yeah, you're trying to extend your college career, huh?
What was I talking about? Oh, I took a creative writing class, and I didn't do any of the writing. All the girls in my class did my writing assignments for me, so I could keep drinking.
So I actually have a story about the creative writing class I took. There was one week where there was this Polish chick in our class, and she was a bit loopy. She comes in with a concussion one day because she slammed her head against a desk for comedic effect.
I understand that.
She then proceeded to Slav squat in her chair for the whole session.
I don't know what that means, but I'm okay with it.
She was basically sitting there like hunched over, and she was like practically standing in the chair, but like that I don't know. Effectively, she was just like this the whole time. Just
I do that. I've done that on streams while gaming, because I need like a certain like angle to see certain pitches on MLB The Show. So I'll like raise myself up and I'll like stand in my chair so I'm like downward angle. You can see the curveball better.
Does the angle really change?
So when you're playing MLB The Show, you got to watch where they release. So like certain pitchers, they have like a different release angle, so you have to like look at it from a different angle. So like I set myself up to where I can see that part of the screen better, so I can focus in and get better hits. But I haven't played MLB The Show in 2 years because it's getting the same game and they're not adding features I like. But back to anime. Do we want to talk a little bit more about this one, or are we good here?
No, I don't think so. I'm wondering if the sister's going to be a real pain in the side for everyone. Just like intentionally trying to sabotage the relationship just because she can, kind of thing.
Well, I'm hoping Akane sees through her sister's bullshit, because at the very end scene, Saito was like, wait, do you want to break up? Like, I don't. Like, Like he's basically telling her he doesn't want to.
I think this is going to be one of those things where like they're going to get closer because of it and be a little bit more honest with each other.
I hope so too. All right. I always say these are kind of similar. And now they're starting to definitely separate themselves. I have a crush at work.
I haven't
Now,
watched this latest episode, unfortunately.
yeah, that's right. You said you haven't watched it yet. So we talked about all this last time, and I said there's another love story going on in this, and this episode is kind of that. So look forward to that, Crimson.
I'll probably watch it after we're done here, but unfortunately, I've been getting off work later than usual, and I've been working like half an hour from home. So it's like I get off at 5 o'clock. I come here, and then on Mondays I hit the gym. So I went in. I went to the gym, did my 45-minute run, and then got back home, cleaned up, and was like as quickly as I possibly could for all this stuff. Didn't have any time to turn on an episode and actually go through it. So
dun dun dun. Well, it's a Christmas episode, so we won't talk about this then. But it is a good one. But you know what we found out? Did you watch this yet?
yeah, the one that was basically Clark.
Yeah, the episode about Clark.
This episode actually made me hate the brother more than Clark.
Well, the brother did it so she could start acting like herself again. Like if you listen, he said he did everything just to get her smile back. But it makes now Clark seems less creepy, right? Because now it's the brother's doing.
This has been a thing for the past couple episodes where they've done better with Clark, and I actually liked last week's episode a lot. It was effectively what I thought this whole series was going to be. I wish this whole series would have been. But like this week's episode was a whole lot about Clark and his attempts to try and like get Letty to pay attention to him, and all his spectacular failures in trying to like catch her interest. But yeah, Nadir. I don't know. I mean, at first it was effectively just like him trying to
get a position of power.
Yeah, him trying to get a position of power, and that's why I was like, okay, this episode kind of makes me hate him more than Clark, because at least Clark was genuinely trying to get her interest and do something. But he was just mistaken. Like the older brother was literally just using it to gain his position of power.
But he did say it was everything for his sister, and if he didn't do it, his sister never would have been her smiling self again. She would have been miserable. So
well, the thing is he does his little like fourth wall break, and he says the only thing I want is to secure my position close to the throne.
That too.
So I'm just like, okay, so this dude's literally just using his family to get power, and then he's gonna pretend like he cares about everyone. Yeah, sure, whatever.
We'll see. But he has shown like throughout that he's always there for her, you know. But he's a chess player, right? Like Clark and the first prince of whatever the fuck that other place is called. I'm expecting
Delbrum or whatever it is.
Yeah. What up, Wade? So they're playing chess, and he's just like, yeah, the cold or chess isn't for the kind-hearted, right? And then he goes in, and I assume he kicks the first prince's ass. Because
the kind can't win at chess, I think is what he said.
I thought it said kind-hearted, or chess isn't for the kind-hearted. There's always Biggles anime every Monday, man. Why not both gain power and help his sister? We're fighting on it, you know. He said this, and he also said this, so we don't know.
We'll see how it plays out, but right now, I don't think that episode shined very well on the older brother. It kind of made him seem like he was just sort of, especially with like the comments about the kind can't win at chess. There's a little bit of allusion there to the way you play politics and stuff in these sort of settings. He is basically alluding to the fact that only the person who is willing to do what it takes is going to win. Kindness won't get you there, and that's kind of what paints my perspective of him in this episode. It's effectively someone who, whether or not he does care about Letty, is still using this to his advantage.
Now, we see the score of a 5.35, and I think that's kind of shit.
I think
that's why I changed it to a 10 on mine, even though I think it's like an 8.
I think a lot of people have had a similar problem to like me and Marcel, where like Clark comes off as a creep, and it feels very much like Stockholm syndrome at times. And they're like, when it starts showing like how Letty was effectively suffering under the whole like princess lessons thing, it kind of gets like depressing and like, okay, why are we going over this again? This is just sad and miserable. Like I was hoping this would be funny and entertaining, like the second half of that first episode was. So that's probably one of the things that's a huge turnoff for people. Otherwise, I mean, it's a good series, especially when it decides to goof off. I think it's best when it just goofs off with like traps and stuff.
And he means traps inside the houses, not the other trap.
Well, technically, the Duke is a trap.
Yeah, but that's not what you're talking about. He's beautiful.
That was funny too.
Yeah.
And little Chad wanted to fight me over whether that was the prince's mother or not.
I was like, no, I thought they showed the mother, and he was like, no, that's not the mother. And
you can literally scroll down. You can literally see the roster of characters on my anime list, and it tells you who the queen is, Queen Lara.
Right there, yeah, yeah. But okay. So, another one that I really, really, really like.
That you really, 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 really love?
Well, no, I can't do that. We've already done that. Okinawa. Kana.
This one, I was honestly surprised to see the A&W shop in this.
Oh yeah, dude. They didn't like. So I guess Okinawa has A&W. By the way, my favorite root beer out of all the root beers is A&W. They put like a little vanilla in it.
I personally prefer Barks, but that's just me.
How dare you? Barks has the caffeine though, so that's probably why.
Yeah, I am a very like low energy person, so if I need the caffeine.
So fun fact about A&W, right? They have the 1/3 pound burgers, right? And this shows how dumb people are. It did worse than the 1/4 pounder from McDonald's because they thought a 1/4 pounder was bigger than 1/3.
I know about that. I thought it was Burger King that did that. They made the 1/3 pound burger to compete with McDonald's. Was it A&W?
It was A&W because A&W has a 1/3 pound burger.
I know about that. And that always makes me fucking disappointed in people.
I know. It's great. People are fucking stupid. Don't understand fractions.
Well, just don't even get me started on some of the stuff I've been watching on YouTube lately.
So, Crimson, do you have drive-ins where you are?
Well, it depends on what you mean by drive-in, because if you mean a drive-in like theater, yeah, actually we do have those in the area because I live out in the country. So there are a couple of those in my area, and they're fun to go to if you want to watch some like B movies and just have a good time.
We only have one drive-in, and it's like 45 minutes from me or something like that.
But other than that, the only drive-in restaurants I have seen are like Sonic's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if you had Sonic's there or not. So,
in my area anyway, there are other like drive-in restaurants that I've seen while on like vacation in other parts of the country, but
So as soon as I saw the A&W and I saw like the setup as they were driving up, I was like, it's not a drive-through, it's a drive-in,
Yeah.
right? And then they're like, oh, it's not a drive-through, Teru, it's a drive-in. And then like while they're driving up there, Teru's fucking stomach is growling, and Kana is like, "Oh no, my stomach is going to growl too." And then they growl at the same time. Um, and then she's like, "I don't want to get fat because they said Okinawa has the highest obesity rates in Japan
I was
because they
about to
don't walk
say
anyway,
that makes sense. That checks out.
right?"
Yeah, they also have a issue with American soldiers misbehaving as of recently.
Uh
Yeah, there's some not great stuff that's happened recently.
oh.
Like, yeah, let's just say grape.
In Okinawa?
Yes,
Uh-oh.
because of American Marines stationed in Okinawa.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, great display of American behavior right there, you know.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, let's set that aside. This episode, I think the best part was like the A&W thing.
Yeah.
Where
like
the whole
part.
thing with Kana being afraid of like, oh no, he's gonna hear my stomach growl after we talked about food.
I know. And then his stomach growls and her stomach growls, and then they used it as like a bonding moment.
Mhm.
I swear, if Kana doesn't win this relationship war, there should be riots. All right. Because this whole fucking show is about Kana and not Kyra or Kyan.
Mina.
Mina.
Oh, there was actually the train thing. That was good. I did like that.
Oh yeah, we're on second week in a row. Little Kana, so adorable.
Her
She's
throwing a temper tantrum over the train was kind of
she's
funny.
like, I want to go to a train, and then Mina's just like, I got my piggy bank. Let's ride the bus.
Yeah, I am genuinely hoping Kana is endgame.
I do too. I hope Teru finally notices.
And
But
it seems like they're leaning into that with the friend who is now like complaining that the two won't get together.
yeah, at the end, right? See, like there's shippers, and then there's me like watching the show and be like, no, this clearly they're trying to set something up here. They're either going to fuck it up or they're going to be like, this is
don't
twist.
lie, don't lie, Biggles. You're a Baku Deku. I know it.
A Baku Deku? I ship Bakugo and Deku. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I clearly ship Mineta with Deku, okay? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm done. I'm distancing myself from this podcast.
But no, like you were saying at the very end of the episode, the friend is like, man, she's really shy and he's really dense. That was like her time to ask her, to ask him out.
You're supposed to invite him,
right? And then she's like, oh, this will never happen. Like, and then at the end, she's like, she's simultaneously translating. She's getting really good at it. And you're like, Marcel. I was joking. I swear. I hate Mineta. Okay, I don't know if he dies in the end game, but I kind of hope.
Punt Mineta. Hashtag punt Mineta.
In the parody,
I honestly wish All For One would have just like picked Mineta up and drop kicked him.
The parody makes him likable because there's a scene where what's the teacher's name again? How do you say his name? Aizawa, right? Aizawa's like, all right, what do you guys know in Spanish, right? And Mineta's like, I got this. Me gusta Latinas with the grande. How do you say ass again? Culos grande, right? He's like, I love the girls with the big asses, right? And he's like, Aizawa goes, that's very offensive. but I'm not mad at it, right? and then like so in the parody, Mineta is likable, right? But in the actual show, he's not. And then Deku goes, "Me llamo Deku," and Baka goes like, "He's an illegal. Build the wall. Build the wall." Like Baka goes like, "Fucking get rid of Deku." It's like, "No, I'm not. I'm just speaking Spanish." That parody's awesome. But oh shit, we already did Solo Leveling, so I can't be like, you know what has another great parody? You know what has a silver-haired waifu, elf waifu? Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to let you take the lead on this one because you are our silver-haired elf waifu expert.
It has elf waifu. What more could you want? For real though, this series, I made a video on it, but to sum up one of the big points that I had to say about this is it's much better when it is a slice of life series as compared to it being an action adventure series. It's much more entertaining to watch the two main characters, Mary and Kazuhiko, interact. I liked the fantasy element in this because it wasn't action oriented.
Mhm.
They were mostly focused on the parts where like they're getting ready for all the dungeon stuff, and there's the old guy who was teasing Mary.
Because they're going to be, or because they're living together.
Mhm.
He's like, no, this elf is, and they're like, what a progressive elf, like with a human. Like,
Yeah. And then I kind of saw it coming that the dragon was gonna get an invite to Japan, or at least go to Japan at some point. I didn't think it was going to be because of a hot springs trip, because Kazuhiko decided he was going to be nice to this flustered new mother who was dealing with her insane
insomnia.
children. She was dealing with children. And as Biggles has famously said, I want to fucking choke him.
I'm gonna fucking choke him. So you know that guy that they showed that's like, I'll do it. Like, she won't even.
Oh, the mustache twirling villain. Yeah.
Yeah, who's also part of the Sorcerer Guild or whatever it's called. I think they're going to go to the hot springs, right? And then he's going to like end up finding the dragons and either like taking them or getting killed by them. I'm hoping the children can kill him, you know.
Well, I think what might end up happening is technically like the dragon's main body is still there. Yeah. So I'm assuming that it might act on like instinct or whatever.
Okay. I must have missed that part because I don't remember a lot of shit.
Yeah, the dragon never transforms. It just sort of like creates an alter ego for itself.
So maybe he gets like eaten by the dragon, or he barely escapes, and then he tells, and then there's going to be like a raid on the dragon or something.
I suspect that one of two things is going to happen. Either he's going to try and kidnap the infant dragons, and that's going to spawn a whole confrontation, or he's going to go in there and see the dragons, and he'll be like, okay, we have an opportunity here, and he's going to start organizing something after that. And our crew is going to get back just in time to have something like that go down with them around.
And I think he might also, I don't know if this dragon is like other dragons in Horde's Gold, but he might sneak in and start to steal shit, because that's what his character so far has seemed to be about, is stealing shit.
I'm not really all that interested in him, to be honest, because he feels so like cartoony. Yeah, he's like a really boring like cartoon villain. Like, yeah, time to make some money. You see that dragon horde? Well, I'm going to set up this elaborate trap to lure the dragon away and steal the gold.
Someone, so I've been playing at Trials of Cold Trials of Cold Steel, which I think has an anime according to someone.
It does actually, because I'm doing a stream tomorrow, and I was looking up 2022 and 2023 anime for it.
Mm-hmm.
And Trials of Cold Steel actually has an anime that came out in that time frame.
Nice. I have to look it up, but there is a
It's like the Northern War or something like that.
yeah, because it's like about the world that it's in. I think it's more like towards Sky rather than Cold Steel, but that's Sky is related to Cold Steel because there's like the church and all the factions and stuff in it. But in this one, or I was playing it, and they're like a mustache guy, and someone was like, he kind of looks like something Whipwright, Stanley Whipwright or something, Whiplash from Dudley Do Right, like the villain. I forgot his fucking name. But they're like, yeah, he looks like that with the mustache twirling. This guy kind of reminded me of him, but with like the white mustache or the blonde mustache. So here's a show that I don't think we got a new episode on this week. Did we get a new episode on this, or did I just miss it?
You just missed it. You didn't see the whole thing about Takao getting sued?
No.
Huh. Well, if you're enjoying the series, I won't spoil it for you, but this is another one that got unexpectedly dark because of some of the topics it handled. But it actually does loop back on some previous episodes. Like there are some things that happened in like the first couple of episodes that are relevant to this latest one. So that was cool. Like on a technical scale, really well done. I liked the writing for it. It's a better mystery of the week episode than the last one we got.
All right, awesome. So I am actually going to be, because the dub is like what, a week behind now. So I might just watch the dubs now. I'm already on episode 3 of the dub. And maybe that's why I didn't get this week's episode, because I had been watching the dub. So it just gave me the dub episode rather than the sub. So I'm just going to try to catch up on watching the dub, because this is definitely one that has a whole bunch of hidden images that are helping you foreshadow, and I need to listen rather than follow along reading. So this is just another one that we'll probably have to talk about in a couple weeks, because I have to switch to the dub because I can't follow what's going on in this one. But it is really good. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm sorry I missed this week's episode. All right.
Yeah, it is what it is. And I got like that actually with Trillion Game and Blue Box. I was the episode behind on each of those and didn't even realize.
Nice.
For weeks on end.
You know what episode I won't be behind on? From Bureaucrat to Villainous, Dad's Been Reincarnated.
I fucking love this show so much.
It is like going to church on Sundays. I have to watch it as soon as it's out. But for me, I'm at work. So as soon as my lunch break happens, either right on my phone or if I'm working from home, right on my TV, we got to watch it. We got to watch this episode. There's no waiting. And this episode was this episode the
exhibition.
The expedition. Yeah. So we haven't met. So we haven't got to that part yet. Okay. So this was the expedition. They fought with the weapons. They played basically their version of Beyblades.
The father-daughter element of it was pretty good, honestly.
Yeah.
Like just her doing all the acting to cover for his mistake. And then going and doing the Beyblade thing with him, and they're like,
he's like, I forgot to hide my experience from all my years.
I went a little too hard, didn't I?
Yeah, and then he finds out that it was Grace who helped Richard and Augustine do their weapons and do basically a new style of magic that hasn't been done in the kingdom before. So everything in this is awesome. And there is a new figure of Grace on Good Smile that you can order. It was
Wait,
like
there is.
there is. It's let me see if I can pull it up. Good Smile. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, I like that they're using the family stuff less and less. Like it's more just an accent. Like there was one episode where they like after it was revealed, where like
Mhm.
half of the episode was them talking about the game. I didn't like that. In this, it's been much better. And also, Grace finally realizing what all the particle effects are was funny.
Yeah, what they actually mean. Great. It's freaking great. Okay, I found it. So let me replace screen. So it's like
Still has one of the best intros of the season, by the way.
so they have they have a figure of Grace. It's like a pop-up, but
So it's probably not too pricey, is it?
well, this is probably the most expensive one I've seen at $65.
Yeah, that's not terrible. I mean, some of the pop-up parade ones can range into like $180.
Yeah.
I think I have a Ren Goku one that was that expensive.
Yeah, but they have a Grace. And I was like, oh, if I wasn't moving and it would get here before I move and switch, and because like changing addresses is kind of rough on this.
Mhm.
But I absolutely love this show. It's
I'm kind of disappointed that the score isn't higher on this, honestly, because it is a genuinely good anime.
well, that's because a lot of anime people are stupid.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did a whole stream about my fucking beef with anime people.
Well, it's like if you get like an isekai where a guy becomes a girl, they're automatically like he's a pervert, even though like there's like nothing perverted in this show
Mhm.
at all.
They literally avoided all the tropes about that would normally happen with the body swapping thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is it? Why am I telling you now that Amagami Sister just did something where it has some body swapping and stuff, and of course they had the guy in the girl's body immediately go like, "What are these?"
Mm-hmm. What are these? Why do I have boobs? Right?
They avoided all of that stuff. All of the well, I ended up touching myself for weeks on end. Kind of bullshit.
That's probably an anime title for itself, or that. So I don't know if that manga, if he gets isekai'd into a girl or whatever, but like the name of the first chapter is called "Fat to Death." It's like
Um
I was like, what
No,
the fuck?
there was no what the one I'm talking about is this is screwed up. I got reincarnated as a girl, and basically you have like this like hardcore like scientist who
Mm-hmm.
gets like who like dies of overwork and gets reincarnated as like this teen girl. And of course, like it's a stereotypical like isekai stuff for like the first few chapters,
Mm-hmm.
and then he discovers what it feels like to touch himself or
Uh
herself. She discovers what it feels like to touch herself, and then spends like 3 weeks doing that
oh. Wow. Okay.
and
Way to go,
making
scientist guy.
and like across the series you'll get like random like moments of like making sex toys and stuff.
Wow. Well, it's a good thing this doesn't do any of that,
Yeah,
and this show is awesome.
I'm very glad it doesn't do any of that because I feel like it would just fuck up the series.
So I like how this show knows what it is and it keeps it great. And the fact that Kazaburo was like, what a great dad my dad is. He's not like always there, but he's great when he is. Like, and it just makes me feel it. Well, he's a seasoned dad, raised an adult daughter. He's not some teenage boy, but knows how to handle that situation.
Yes, yeah, I think that's probably the biggest factor in it, and it's just a trope that I'm not a huge fan of, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I also really like how now they're using the family more as exposition dumps, right? They're like, oh, this happened, like, so you get like certain scenes, and like, uh, Anna, right? It's Anna, right? Not on. Yeah,
Oh,
Anna.
that's another part of the
Where
episode that I like.
she's like, I'm fat. Like, and she's like, don't worry, you eat as much as you like. It makes me smile.
I
And
enjoy
she
seeing
just,
seeing you happy or so
right.
eating so happily, and
And
then
then
she decides she's gonna fix her
she's like, I'll
issue with
keep eating and
exercise.
I'll work out all the time. And she's like, I fit myself again. And that's why I'm so much stronger. Um, and they're like, holy shit, in the game, she's not this strong, but in the right now she is.
I think the
What up?
funniest part was she had an issue with like fitting into her clothes, so she
Uh-huh.
started working out a ton and put on so much muscle she couldn't fit into her
She couldn't
clothes
fit
anymore.
anywhere. Yeah.
It's like Destiny from Zenshu.
Oh, speaking of Zenshu,
This
uh,
is another one I'm not caught up on, unfortunately.
I almost missed this episode, and since you brought up Destiny, you're going to want to watch this next episode. Um,
Basically,
there,
as far as the stuff I haven't watched that's still on my list this week, Zenshu, I have a crush at work, and Red Ranger and Another World are the ones that I just haven't watched yet.
well, I haven't started Red Ranger. I'll probably wait. Is there a dub working right now on it or no?
I'm not sure. That's a good question.
If there is a dub, I'll probably just start trying to catch up on the dub at least. But this episode was pretty good. You meet a new character. Remember how I said the Budum is going to, she's looking for the Budum or whatever, and I think she might not be dead. I think this episode may be helping my theory. But that new character is also going is also going against my theory. So I don't know. She almost has like a moment with Luke, but she's like, I can't say that, right? So there's a lot of stuff that happens in this episode. So you're going to want to watch it. I watched it today at lunch, but we'll jump into this one. I didn't have a good what's it called for it. I'm sorry. Please
are you
forgive
still
me.
watching this?
I'm still kind of watching this.
Yeah.
Only because it's a dub. If it wasn't a dub, I'd stop.
Is he still manufacturing toilets?
No, man. He's got a new person in the harem. What else happened? He's got a new person in the harem who's almost as crazy as he is when it comes to alchemy. And fuck, that's like all I remember. Like I'm saying, this show. Oh yeah, Barak, this guy, the guild master or whatever.
Barack Obama.
Yeah. He beats the shit out of what's his name? What is his fucking name? What's the main character's name? Takumi. Okay, that's what it is. He like beats the shit out of Takumi because he's like, well, we don't have like a front line for our party. And he's like, that's okay. I'll beat the shit out of you until your body's strong enough to be a frontliner. So he just, half the episode is like him throwing away, right? And then the Empire sends like assassins to kill him. And Silk basically stops it. And then Takumi has resistance to poison and is able to fuck them up. And now we get to see like that other kingdom is fucked up, even though we've been seeing like the future with them and how they're fucked up. So it's all right. He just keeps getting new people in his harem, and they're all like slaves, but he doesn't treat them like slaves. He treats them as equals.
My brother told me last night, why make friends when you can buy them?
Exactly.
In reference to slavery.
Yeah, exactly. Let me not pay them. They can be my friend. That's basically what he's doing. He's like, why have girlfriends when I can just buy them? You know?
I was making a joke about how some art fixer accidentally made a dwarf slave girl. Or they didn't know who the dwarf slave girl was, so they saw the artwork on Twitter and then made it like a darker skin tone. It was like, that's what it should look like. And someone's like, great, now the sex slave is black. Wait,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I saw the same tweet. I wonder if it was like me liking your retweet. It was
It
probably
might have
that.
been.
Probably. I just retweet the shit you say, even if it's stupid.
I don't say anything stupid. By the way, follow me on Twitter. I have awesome things to say over there.
There, he just said something stupid. No. Okay.
Yeah, actually, it is stupid because most of the stuff I engage with is the most like brain rotting, like lobotomite shit you can find. Mostly people calling Konosuba sex crime manga.
That damn uh Megamine. Damn, poor Megamine has to be sold by her parents so they can have money. The fucking movie. So this score that it is a 6.97 disappoints me so much. I love this anime. I know you have it on interesting, right? You have this on interesting.
The latest episode was actually pretty good, a little bit more up my alley.
Would you like to explain why?
Because it actually shows a bit more of like the relationship between Jade and Alina, where she was really not looking forward to spending the whole day at the Centennial Festival with him. But when it came down to it, she honored her word and was like, you know what? I told the guy I would do it, so I might as well, and enjoyed it. And then when they had to go run off and chase down some rogue adventurers, she was actually like genuinely worried about them and volunteered to go with them
Mhm.
because she didn't want them to die. So
Exactly.
character development. That is why character development and romance aspect. I could care less about the dark gods and stuff.
Mhm.
Honestly, I
You
don't
don't
give
care.
a shit.
You don't give a shit about. I like that she just fucking smacks the fuck out of them with the hammer. Really, that's why I love this anime so much, or the manga. Why I love the manga so much is I was just and she's just like fuck you and just
You
smacks the
should
shit
you should
out
play
of them.
Monster Hunter Wilds with me because
Is
you
that
can.
is that crossplay? Do you know if it's
Um,
crossplay? Because I think
I
my
play on PC,
okay. Well, I'm
so
probably going to get it on PC, but if it's not crossplay, Chunk always wants me to get stuff on PlayStation so I can play with him.
I'm unsure as to whether it is crossplay or not. I believe this new generation might be. I would have to look that up. But no, I was gonna say you can literally make Alina and use a hammer and smack giant monsters around.
I'm in. I'm in.
Look, I literally have a great sword build that is Priscilla Burial from ReZero right now. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing for Wilds. I also from Monster Hunter World I made Griffith. So
Yes, I see your videos where you have Griffith and then you have a Guts with you
I
as he
have my
fucks it
guts
up.
Palico. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. But I absolutely love this show. The animation's pretty good too. There's also like a little side romance we see between the healer and the range attacker. Whoa and Lulu.
Lululi, yes.
Yeah. And the dub is fun too. It's got Jill Harris, so it's basically like having Noelle being your main character. It's similar behavior as well.
I'm always confused by this one because they change the intro and outro. Like they use them like
Yeah,
interchangeably.
yeah.
in the series.
So what I've noticed is like if it's like a more happier episode, they use the outro as the intro.
Mhm.
But yeah, they kind of switch it.
Pa-pa-da-pa-pa-da-pa-pa-da-pa-da.
Hey! So I have that on my Spotify and it's gotten to the point where it's on my repeat like near the very top of it. So I like this one. And there's a whole part in the middle. Seems like Monster Hunter Wild will have crossplay. Sweet. Then we can get it on our PC and we'll play together, Crimson. We'll even do like a stream maybe of us just fucking shit
I
up.
was planning on streaming it because my brother already bought me the game.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I was planning on streaming it when it comes out. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, but I already got my Alina Nendroid and I'm so excited. I just wish it also had like the costume for the executioner. Stark.
I
Yeah,
gotta
all
show
mine
up.
all mine are packed up. Otherwise, I'd once I get to the new place, we're building like a whole bunch of shelves, and I'm just anime everywhere. And then
I,
I'll
yeah, yeah. I want to do a similar thing. Like there's space over here in the
Mhm,
corner where I want to put some shelves for more manga. I give you a bit of a tour of how much shelf space I have dedicated to books in here, but it's
mhm.
kind of a mess off camera because I just haven't had the time to take care of it.
Man, I just have a shit ton of boxes, and everything else is like packed. Um,
I just have a pile of clean clothes I need to put away.
that happens too. But yeah, I love this anime. It's great. I uh, I was so excited when I saw it was getting an anime because I was reading the manga and I was like, this is fucking amazing.
Hmm.
Um, oh, you know what we didn't talk about that I didn't pull up at all? Shangri-La Frontier.
Ah, yeah, you're caught up, aren't you? Well, almost
Well,
all the way caught up.
yeah, I'm 2 episodes behind because I'm watching the dubs.
So you've at least started the pirate ship stuff, yes?
Yeah, it's so funny because they like pick him up in the barrel, and she was like, "I didn't mean to accept this," and like now I took too long to exit, and she's like, "Yes, sir," and they're like, "Calm down." That's what this is from. The background right there is from that. They're like, "Whoa, calm down, crazy."
So like I'm actually like into the arc where they're like where they've started all the pirate ship stuff.
Mhm,
Um it's been pretty good so far. I think the animation budget has sharply dropped off for these last couple of episodes,
mhm,
but that makes me feel like they're saving it for the GGC stuff, which
mhm.
could be really cool. If they save it all the way for like the very like end of this with the GGC, um, and maybe a little bit of the stuff with Katarnid, uh,
Mhm.
that might justify it. But I haven't been terribly impressed with some of the things that they've done. Although the
Mhm.
story's been interesting, and especially as they've gotten like into this new area,
Mhm.
it picked up. But the specifically the segments that are on the ship just didn't look right to me. They didn't look good.
You know what? They could do this whole show as a fucking chibi, and I'd love it. Like I'd be like,
Well,
okay,
yeah,
we
that's
don't
one
even
thing.
need
But when
it.
I'm talking about animation, I'm talking about the way they actually like animate motion in
Move.
combat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then in one of the ship episodes, like right before it transitions into the new area, the animation gets really fucking clunky.
Hmm. Like I think when Russ shoots like the arrow with what's his name? Mold? No. What is it?
Okay, so you've seen that part. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like
Hmm.
when they're that fight scene just wasn't good if you ask me.
Yeah, it could have been a lot better. It's not. It's nowhere like the Waikagon fight or the
Weathermon. Yeah.
Weathermon. Yeah.
It was not a Weathermon fight, and it was not the Lycagon fight. I still just have to sit in awe of like the impact frames and the animation for the end of that fucking Lycagon fight. That was insane.
The Armageddon. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I really like this one. So when my friend was like, I started watching anime, and I was like, all right, well, what are you watching? He goes, Sword Art Online. So he went and got a. So I have like a mouse pad like across my entire thing, which I might get a new one. Just that, just for like the new one. But he got an Asuna. Asuna, is that how you say her name from Sword Art Online? I think.
Asuna, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. He got one of those like mouse pads and he got really into it because he was like, it just reminds me of like when I would play like World of Warcraft. And I was like, okay. And I watched it and I got to like where it started going into a romance. And I was like, yeah, fuck this show. I don't need this romance. Like, and he's already pretty overpowered, just winning every fight. Like, it's not really difficult for him, you know? And I was like, I'm over this show. And then when I watched this, like, it makes so much more sense why this guy is good at video games, right? Other than like the other guy was like, oh yeah, we were playing the beta or whatever. But or Sunraku, yeah, I almost called him Hizutome because that's what Ray calls him every time she talks.
He's a Tome-kun. He's a Tome-kun.
She's like, Hizutame's so cool. But Sunraku is the master of trash gaming. The dude spends all the time beating these trash games full of glitches, full of bugs, chunky or clunky movements, and now
Bad game mechanics.
bad game mechanics. And now he has a game that has good game mechanics. It's not clunky. I don't understand how VR works in this world because they're all laying down in their bed while they're playing the VR.
Well, it's fully immersive VR.
So
So
it's all
that
your mind, I
technology
guess.
actually exists. By the way, it just costs $25,000.
There you go. So they it makes sense that he's good. And this is what I should make my friend watch, basically because he liked that, and this is in my opinion, a way better version. Even though he didn't get stuck in the world, he's just always in it.
The Shangri-La Frontier like consistently reminds me of how much fun it was to just goof off in a game like Destiny or Borderlands or whatever. Just something where like there's a big event going on and you're just there dicking around with your friends because it's the Vault of Glass and you're all fucking murdering each other with gorgons. Or some retard can't make it through the fucking jumping puzzle with the disappearing platforms.
Dude, there was the one raid in Destiny where it's like you had to like jump across shit, and then you had to like fight in like a water thing where like each side had water, and you'd had to run. I think it was Destiny 2, but you had to like run around and then shoot like certain things in the air. And I was like, this is fucking dumb. Let me just fight
that sounds like one of the Leviathan raids in Destiny 2.
I was like, this is dumb. But my friends and I, we spent like an hour just fucking around while the rest of the raid was trying to do the thing, and we're just like, let us just shoot shit. Like, but yeah, Shangri-La Frontier. I love how he's like, oh shit, I forgot to dismantle the party, and they're just like, hey, we're in this unique event with them, and then they actually come in handy because they're like holding off the boat. So we'll see what happens next. I know you're 2 episodes ahead, but I want to stick to the dub rather than the sub. And that's why I waited so long to watch Shangri-La Frontier, and then I caught up in 3 days. So now I'm like, or no, so last Sunday I finished, right? And I guess the new episode had just dropped. And I was like, when the fuck does the next episode of Shangri-La Frontier drop? Because it dropped as I got to the episode. So it was in the queue and I didn't realize it. And I was like, I need the next episode. What the fuck? And then this Sunday it came out and I was like, oh, it's Sunday drops. And I finished on Sunday. That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, no, the Shangri-La Frontier is one of my favorite anime of that year when it first came out with that first season. That was 2023, I think, when it aired its first season.
Yeah, I think it was 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but definitely fun. I want to see more. I'm really enjoying everything that's going on in most of the stuff that's going on right now. We did drop a bunch of anime because I just thought they were boring as fuck. And without a dub, I'm like, no, I don't really give a shit enough to go watch it.
Well, one that I've been enjoying that I think I don't know how you'll feel about it, but Medalist has been pretty good, and it does have a dub. Like it's serial dub too.
The ice skating one, isn't that on Hulu or something?
I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah, Disney Plus Hulu.
Well,
But it's actually a pretty good anime, honestly. Like, it's funny because both the main characters are a bit quirky. The coach is overly enthusiastic, and the ice skater girl is she's a bit of a tomboy who finds comfort in worms for some reason.
yeah, who doesn't like worms? I mean, Grace likes beetles.
So yeah, there's that, and it's all around a really solid anime, very good character writing, very character focused. I'll actually be putting up a video about it tomorrow.
Nice.
Um, because life has happened and I have had to push some video making back to Tuesdays rather than Mondays and Sundays. So
Uh-oh.
anyway, yeah, I would recommend that one because I picked it up late and ended up really enjoying it. Otherwise, what else is there that's like on here? Sakamoto Days got better this week.
I haven't watched it yet.
Dragon Ball Daima has actually done some really cool stuff.
Oh my god, I was so glad I didn't put this up there because I forgot you were watching it. I'm so glad they are like Vegeta was just like, all right, I'm ready to fight again. He went Super Saiyan 3, which it basically the headcanon from like everyone was the reason why Vegeta decided to do something else rather than Super Saiyan 3 is because of how heavy Super Saiyan 3 weighs on your body and how it affects your ki. And it's not efficient with Vegeta's style of fighting. And we kind of saw that in this episode where he had Super Saiyan 3 going and he just threw a whole bunch of ki blasts and then he just ran out of the ki.
I think my favorite part of it is just Vegeta being a loving husband.
Yeah, the Bulma. So everybody's like the Bulma part steals the show. Where
there have been so many like memes and fan arts of that scene. It's glorious.
she's like, I will no longer take baths with you, and he's just like, all right, you guys can fight. he's got his priorities straight. That's his wife, man, and he was able to hit Beerus when Goku wasn't because Beerus slapped Bulma. So we know Bulma is very important to him. And like people were like, well, where was this when he blew up the World Stadium for the Majin arc? Well, if you remember, the reason why he gave up his mind to Babidi was because he was becoming too complacent with his family and he stopped training as hard. And he thought family made him weak. So at that point, even if Bulma said I wouldn't take a shower with you anymore, he wouldn't give a shit, right? It wasn't until his sacrifice, or the final atonement, I think is what it was called, where he tried to destroy Boo by blowing himself up, did he realize how important they were. And then this is a year later. So clearly Vegeta is back on his priorities with Bulma and stuff. And this is close to about the time Bra is going to be conceived anyway. So yes, her name is Bra, not Bulla. Okay. Let's not listen to GT. But yeah, it's fucking the animation was awesome. And then do you care if I say something about next week? Because if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you should know what's going on.
I mean, if you're talking about the fusion stuff, I kind of assumed it was going to happen from the beginning of the series.
Yeah, we're
because
definitely
fusion always fucking happens.
Yeah, because they're always going to do fusion, right? I love Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan 4. Why aren't they going blue, though? Because they haven't learned blue yet. They haven't met God. That's 3 years later after the Majin Buu arc or whatever. I think it's 3 years after.
I just thought this was a completely different continuity, honestly.
Well, okay, so they're not going blue because they don't have blue yet. So I think Super takes place on Trunks, on like around Trunks' 9th birthday or something. And so I think it's 2 years later. So it would be a year after this. And then Battle of Gods, or no, Resurrection F is like 3 years later. So that's when they go blue. So they haven't learned blue yet. They haven't met Beerus. They haven't met Whis, right? This is before that happens. Yeah. This is right after the Majin Buu arc. Like a year after the Majin Buu arc. So this is where Vegeta is like starting to get all lovey-dovey with Bulma, right? So that's why there's no blue. But I don't like that they brought Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan 4 into this, because why haven't they used it in Super then if it's after?
That's why I think this is a different continuity, is because it's a completely different, like that power set not being available to them wouldn't make sense.
But it's Dragon Ball doesn't, or okay, so it has multiple timelines, but this isn't one of the multiple timelines. This wasn't one of the timelines affected by Trunks coming back. So there's 3 timelines. There's the main timeline, there's the unseen timeline, and there's the future Trunks timeline. And Super, the future Trunks timeline gets destroyed by Zeno. So now there's only 2. But at this current time, there's 3 timelines. The unseen one where Goku dies of the heart virus. Then we have our main timeline where the show takes place. And then we have future Trunks timeline. So this is on the main timeline. But they could just think it's not as efficient. But like you would have thought, hey, they would have done that against Beerus, but maybe they hadn't really mastered it and they can't do it outside the demon realm. Could be. Who knows? We have to wait till they figure it out. But yeah, next week there's more than likely going to be fusion. Everybody says in episode 4 there was like a join bug, like one of the bugs in the bag. So maybe they find the bag and they eat it and they fuse. They could also Patara earrings. They have the Patara earrings down there. They haven't learned the fusion dance together yet. Gogeta doesn't happen until later, unless you count the movies, which are not canon, because they don't make sense canonically in the stories. So that could be an alternate timeline, I guess. But
Yeah.
that's not.
It's the canon issues with this of like, why not use like you end up with a bunch of dumb reasoning as to why they didn't use Super Saiyan 3 and 4 against Beerus.
Well, Goku does use Super Saiyan 3.
He does, but Vegeta doesn't, and Goku doesn't use Super Saiyan 4. You basically have to come up with some weird reasons to prevent a retcon. That's why I just automatically assume the best of Toriyama is just, okay, this is a different timeline. Cool. That's fine. You can do that. I don't care.
If you notice in Super, Vegeta doesn't even go Super Saiyan 2, like ever. He either goes Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan Blue. And in the manga, he goes Super Saiyan God. And then, of course, Ultra Ego at the end. And now he has perfected Ultra Ego. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, he doesn't even go Super Saiyan 2 in Super. You never see the electricity around him. He only goes Super Saiyan 1. So, and like, you don't see Vegeta go like the stronger versions. He likes to fight at the lower things until he has to go stronger, really, because he always tests, right? Like Goku like warms up, but Goku goes through all his phases usually. But you don't see Goku go Super Saiyan 3 a lot after he learns like Blue and stuff. So they've realized 3 is inefficient. So maybe Vegeta, like, you know how tactical Vegeta is. So that could explain why he doesn't use 3 at all, especially after that fight. And he like gassed himself really quickly. And like they said in Super Saiyan 3, Goku could train it while he was in the other world because he didn't have an actual body, but how stressful it was on him. And that's why he didn't use it in the fight against Vegeta and was saving it for Buu. Right. So that stuff, it makes sense story-wise for me because I've been watching this shit since I was like 6 or 7 when it came out. in America. So it's been something I've been watching my whole life, so I kind of like understand what the characters are. But yeah, I want to know why Goku doesn't use 4. Like maybe it could just be because he's in the demon realm. So we'll see. I think tomorrow's the last episode, or not tomorrow. Friday's the last episode. There should be a fusion. I don't know what fusion it's going to be. Maybe we'll get a brand new fusion, and it won't be Gogeta or it won't be Vegito because they'll probably use those joined bugs that they foreshadowed in episode 4. Who knows? Anything you want to say?
I think Daima has had some of the best fight animation of the entire series so far.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about all I have to say. I mean, that last fight was really freaking cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing Super Saiyan 4 Goku in action here.
All right. Well, just so you know, they're bringing back one of their best animators, the one who does like most of the finales of the series, to animate this next fight.
Ooh.
So expect awesomeness, and I'm going to be so excited. Any other animes you want to talk about? Because I don't have anything else prepared because I couldn't think of, like, I didn't even think of Daima.
There's
I
literally
love
nothing
Dragon
worth
Ball.
mentioning. I wouldn't talk about Trillion Game on here. I wouldn't talk about Orb on here or Sakamoto Days in depth or Red Ranger. They're just not worth mentioning. The only reason, or even like Honey Lemon Soda, that would be one I'd have to talk to like a little chat about.
He probably watches that night and day.
I was about to say that sounds like something he would watch, considering a condition or a sign of affection is something he was a fan of.
That little Chad, man. 2 weeks, no show. Hates us, loves his family. How dare he?
How dare he prioritize his
How
family?
dare he prioritize his family over 2 special fuckers, you know?
Hey, speak for yourself. I ain't special. I've never been special in my life. That's why I'm depressed.
You're special to me. You're my
Thanks.
knight.
That hits me right where I live.
You're my knight, Subaru.
I will fight.
And you're the chosen gooner.
AI Skynet's chosen gooner. Yes.
Skynet's chosen gooner. And all right. So that is all I have. And that's all you have. Little Chad. Oh, wait, you're not here. You bastard. Okay. That is all Little Chad has for us today as well. And I say we get out of here. And you guys have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we'll give you the outro.
Crimson set, it's just for the plot, but we all know it is probably not. Little Chad with another slice of life. Biggles keeps talking about another villainess. And in the troubleに越されているので、私たちはそれら忘れて分析します。It's the Biggles breakdown, another anime night, fighting all the shows and the plots. It's time for the Biggles breakdown.